Ella Marie Grunberg entered the world 16 weeks early. She weighed 1 pound, 0.6 ounces, and measured 10.82 inches long. I was about 23 weeks pregnant. I'd been up all weekend with a really bad headache. Was feeling super dizzy. I got admitted into St. Francis about an hour and a half before I was supposed to be discharged. They came back in and told me that I had protein in my urine, and they were like, you're gonna have this baby by the end of the week. Friday came and they told us we were gonna have her that day. It was gonna be a C-section. I actually ended up passing out after they took her out, but we did get to see her for a brief minute, and she was crying when she came out. You know, it was like, okay, step one, she's alive. We're starting what the rest of our life with her is gonna look like.
It's pretty incredible how little she was. You look at it and it's like, how do you do anything with a child like this?
The nurse brought her into the resuscitation room. She was so very, very tiny, one of the smallest living infants I had ever seen. My impression was just very happy for the situation with how vigorous she was at birth.
We got a call and they said, we need mom to come up to the NICU. That first time they wheeled us down the hallway, the doctor was like, we need to take you somewhere more quiet that we can talk. And she was like, you know, she was breathing on her own when she came out. She really didn't need a lot of support, but we've had to put her on high frequency jet ventilation. She's had a lung that's collapsed, you know, and you're thinking of how tiny she is, and you're like, a lung that's collapsed? Like, she's not even as big as a lung at that point. And so they wanted me to see her because they didn't know if she was gonna make it.
Just getting her stabilized because of her size was difficult. The lungs were not working properly. She developed the pneumothorax. We didn't have the access we needed because of her size. At about 3 weeks of age, she had to have heart surgery. You figure her heart is only this big, and they're operating on a blood vessel next to that heart, so tiny, and had to go in and clip that blood vessel closed. Every part of her needed a little bit of TLC and a lot of technology.
Really, the first month was kind of like, she just needs to be tucked in and cozy and to try and get stronger.
Whatever's gonna happen, however she's gonna turn out, it's gonna be her fighting to be here.
It was just amazing how strong she was through all of this.
It is not lost on us how lucky we are to have had our 24-week baby in somewhere that was a level 4 NICU.
St. Francis is one of only 2 NICUs in the state of Oklahoma that has a level 4 NICU, which are NICUs with the most extensive ability to care for infants. Specialized ventilators, specialized equipment to care for infants of this size. The team that we have here of expertise with our nursing staff and the ancillary staff just gives us everything we need to help care for an infant that has as many complications as Ella had.
They assure you they're gonna do everything they can, and so if you can trust, you know, what they're telling you, just tell you like it is, I think that really does help you stay grounded.
Once they moved us out into a room that had a window that overlooked everything, and she was kind of a regular crib, and it was more of a switching into kind of a parent mode than it was just being along for the ride.
She came home on a bradycardia monitor and on oxygen. We got home, we got her out, and then we crossed the threshold and her monitors started going off. And that was pretty jarring.
She kind of settled down and we were able to kind of take a deep breath and kind of look at each other and say, oh, here we go. But that's kind of how it was for at least the first 2 or 3 weeks.
Once we hit that 2.5-year mark, it was like, okay, you know, a lot of her personality started coming out. And so that first year for her birthday, we did a preemie pajama collection drive.
We collect gametes to the baby, and when we're all done, we cook them up to the hospital where I was born. I feel good because I actually love little baby being born.
Now that Ella's getting older, like, she helps unwrap the stuff. She holds up each piece and comments like how much a baby is gonna love being in the pajama piece.
Just watching her as she grows and seeing that she can do everything that she needs to do as a happy, healthy 7-year-old. Again, it's extremely rewarding.
Just to know how much she has overcome, she'll always be our little miracle girl.
Looking at what she is today, I mean, there's no way you could say that she's not a miracle.